Okay, so let's get started. Perfect. So yesterday, what we have started the initiation, how a pen testing or how a particular, you can say, ethical hacker has been working. Okay, so it's an again a step-by-step approach. First, what we are going to do, we are going to collect the information. That is your reconnaissance information gathering, or we also call it as a footprinting. Okay, once the information has been collected, then we move into the step number two. Okay, now step number two is what has been saying, that if you are having the IP address of your target machine. Okay, now from that IP address, collect more information, as in collect the information whether is there any open port available, or what services have been running on that port, such kind of a thing. Okay, but before we collect or before we do a scan, let's understand how a Linux environment look like and how we can get familiar with the Kali. Okay, so that will be our main agenda first, then we will move into further step, that is your scanning. Okay, so let's understand the basic of Linux. Okay, now, when we talk about an Kali, Kali is a very powerful tool, widely used, okay, widely used to perform open tests, widely used to perform a digital forensic or an ethical hacking. The best part of about the Kali is you get pre-installed tools and utilities. Okay, so these terms are separate. Tools is separate and utilities are separate. Okay, the difference between tools and utilities are, utilities come with that operating system which has been embedded with that operating system, no need for an installation. Tools need to be installed. Okay, a customized environment optimized for cybersecurity professional, open source and regularly updated for enhanced security. Yes, you will be getting a regular update as well. Okay, whenever there is a new patch or new update has been released, you will get it and you can fix those vulnerabilities. Not it's not about a vulnerability every time. Okay, so many a time the tool get updated or the list get repositories get updated. Okay, so on 15 days or in a month or in 45 days, a update will be sent by your Kali. Okay, now how that environment look like? Okay, so inside this, what we have onto the left hand side, slash file system home. If I click onto the home, it will take up me to the home of the Kali. Inside that, we have multiple other, we can say, directories. Okay, so these are my different directories. What's there into the desktop, document, music, picture, we can navigate it from here. Same goes with the file system as well. Okay. Now, what tools are coming with this Kali? We can check it from here. These are my pre-installed tools available. Okay. If you want to access a web, yes, you can do that as well. Okay. Now, what will be your playground? You can see a black color option over here. This is known as your terminal. Now, this will be your playground. Okay. Now, let's understand how we can work with this. What are the basic commands that we can use inside this terminal? Okay. Now, first of all, when we logged in inside the Kali as a normal user and we will open this terminal for the very first time. Okay. Now from this we can identify which user we are. We are a normal user or we are a root user. Okay. Now this dollar sign indicates that we are a normal user. Okay. Now how we can gain an access of a root user? So what we will be doing, a simply privilege escalation over here. Okay. Sudo. Sudo means super user. We are asking for a super user, the root user. When we hit enter, ask for the password of an Kali. Give the password of the Kali. Here we are. Now we are logged in as a root user. Can you see? Dollar sign has been changed to an hash. Color is also been changed from an Kali. And from a normal user, we got an access to the root user. Okay. So what we did, super user, or we switched the user from a normal user to a root user. So we are inside home/Kali. Now one more thing, when we talk about a directory, directories are what? These are my directories. In Linux, we call them as a directory. In Windows, we call them as a folders. Okay. So these are what? These are my directories. Now when I see over here, it says home/Kali. Okay. So home, inside home, we have a directory by the name of Kali. In this directory we are in. This is the location of that command prompt. Okay. Now what is there inside this directory? What we can do, we can simply go with a command ls. Ls stand for list. Okay. Show me what is there inside this directory. Here we go. Okay. So there is a text file, and these are what? These are my different directories. This blue color. There is one more file by the name of an lol.pcap. There is a one more text file by the name of an pass.txt. There is one more text file by the name of an user.txt. Okay. So ls, that is your list. What is there inside this directory? Now, what if I go with ls hyphen l? What is this thing? I'm getting a detailed information now. ls hyphen l means list in long format. Okay. That text file is been created on which date, by what time, who is the owner of that file, and what particular access he is having. Okay, so these are what? These are the privileges: read, write, and executable permissions he is having. Okay, same goes with other directories and other files as well. Okay, now what if I go with ls hyphen a? Can you identify the difference from ls hyphen? Simply go with an ls and with an ls hyphen a. Okay. Now, as a pen tester, if we are inside into any of the domain, inside any of the system, so we need to identify what is there inside that directory. Okay. So how we can check? Simply by this commands ls hyphen a. along with that, show me what if I'm having an access to the system, to your system as a normal user. So I will be checking what privileges I am having, which file I can access, isn't it? So I can download or modify such kind of an files. Not only that, if I'm having an access to your device as a normal user, I will try to get an access as a root user. So in that time, what I will be doing, I will be doing a privilege escalation. So as of now, I'm inside an Kali directory. Now I want to go inside this download directory. Can you see the path has been changed? home/Kali/download. Okay. Now if I want to check what is inside this download directory, simply go with an ls. Okay. Now if I want to go back again inside Kali directory, what I will be doing? cd space dot dot. If I go with single dot, he is going to land up into the same directory. If I go with double dot, that means take me back, take me one directory back. We have seen how to check the directory. We have seen how to move into different directory. Now, what if I want to create a new directory followed by the directory name? My directory name is new. Okay. So let's verify my directory has been created or not. ls, is my directory has been created by the name of a new? Yes, it is. Here we go. Okay. Now let's go inside that new directory. cd space new. What is there inside this directory? Nothing. It's an empty. Okay. Now let's create a file inside this directory, a text file. Okay. Now to create a file, do we have any command? Okay. So we can use nano, or either we can use vi, or we can go with touch command as well. Okay. So let me show you a step by step again. So first I will be using a touch command, touch followed by the file name. So let's say abcd.txt. This is my file name. Okay. So let's verify whether my file has been created or not. It's been abcd.txt. Now I want to store some information inside this file. Okay. So I can use a editor window over here. Nano. Nano is what? It's an editor. abcd.txt. Straight away the editor window will get open. We can give our input. Hello, how are you? Okay. Now I want to save this information. Control X. Save modification buffer. Yes. Press Y and hit enter. Okay. The information has been stored. Now I want to verify whether my information has been stored or not. Okay. So we have an cat command. Capture. What is there inside it? abcd.txt. This is my file name. Hello, how are you? This is what has been stored inside that file. So I had created a file by the name of an abcd.txt. Inside I had given some information. Okay. Now this is a very lengthy process for me. It's a very long cut. Okay. So first to create a file, then a file has been created, to open editor window, then store some information. It's a very lengthy process. So if you're asking me, is there any shortcut? I don't want to go with this all this process. I want to save my time. So what I will be doing, I will be simply going with an editor window. Nano followed by the file which you want to create. Whatever the file is. XYZ. So Nano first what he is going to do, he is going to search whether this file is in existing or not. If yes, open the editor window. If no, create a file and directly open an editor window. Okay. If you want to save, Control X, Y, there you go. Can you see? Now there are two files, abcd.txt and xyz.txt. How I created abcd.txt? With touch command, then I had opened a nano editor window and given the information. And for XYZ, straight away with an editor window. If I check whether my information has been stored or not, cat followed by file name. Here you go. Okay. Now there are two files, abcd.txt and xyz.txt. Now what I want to do, I want to move this file, xyz.txt, into Kali directory. Okay. So what I can do over here, I can use a command mv, move. What you want to move? The file name, xyz.txt, where I want to move in Kali directory. So /home/Kali, the path to be given. From new directory to Kali directory. Hit enter. If I go with ls command, file is not there. Okay. Let's go back. cd double dot, take me one directory back. If I go with ls, xyz.txt. Okay. Now, someone has asked the question, why the color has been changed? We have one text file which is in normal color, which we have one more text file which is in different color. Okay. Now, the file which we have created, xyz.txt, when it has been created, time, date, who is the creator of the file. Now, this is your default permission. Whenever the file has been created, this is the default permission given by them. Now check over here, cs.txt. Okay. Now how we can change this permission? Are we having the authority? Yes, we can do that. We can change the permission. So by default, what permissions have been getting? Okay. So as we are logged in inside any of the portal and any of the, you can say, operating system. So we are getting three sets of permission. So first is your owner. Second is your group. Third is your others. Okay. This is owner. This is group, and this is other. Okay. The owner of that particular file is having this permission. The second user, that is group, and this is my third user, that is other. So there are three users. Okay. So for each and every user, there are set of permission. So I can change this permission for each and every user. Okay. So by default for owner, we are getting read and write permission. For group, we are getting only read permission. And for other also, we are getting only read permission. R stand for read, W stand for write, and X stand for execute. Okay. Now for this permission, we have an binary numbers as well. For read, we have 4. For write, we have 2. These are the default number again. And for execute, we have 1. The sum will be 7. Okay. Now the question arises over here, how we can change the permission. Okay. Now to change a permission, we have a command by the name chmod. Okay. That is your change the moderation of the file. How we can use this command? So let's use this command in xyz.txt. Chmod. Okay. This file is having read write permission, to owner, to group only read permission, and to other is only read permission. Now I want to give him an executable permission as well. To all the 3 users, I want to give the executable permission. Okay. Owner can also execute the file, group can also execute the file, other can also execute the file. So simply I can write for execute plus X. Okay. So add the executable permission to which file? xyz.txt. Okay. Let's verify. Is the permission has been added? No. If you remember, I had created one more file inside the div directory. Okay. So let's go inside this new directory. We have a file by the name of an abcd.txt. Okay. Let's go back. Now I want to delete this new directory. Can I do that? I don't want this.
You can delete your RM.
Okay. So if I go with remove the directory followed by the directory name, it is showing me an error. Failed to remove. Directory is not empty.
Okay.
There is a file
Hyphen
inside this
R we have to
directory.
give.
Yes. Okay. So I want to forcefully remove this directory. So what I will be doing, rm -r, recursively delete the directory followed by the directory name. It's been deleted. Okay. So I don't care what is there inside this directory, how many files are there inside this directory, just remove it. Okay. To remove the file as well, we go with an rm command, simply rm command. Let's say pass.txt. I want to remove this file. Removed. Let's say I want to remove user.txt. Removed. For Mac, you can use VirtualBox instead of VM. And with the Mac M2 chip, there are certain problems. Okay, when we are using this virtualization, when we are doing a virtualization, it is not able to get the IP address. So it's preferred to go with Windows. So it's more user friendly, more easy to use as well. And one more thing, there are certain requirement for this operating system. Requirement as in at least 4 GB of an RAM to be given when we are installing this Linux, Kali Linux. 4 GB RAM to be given to this Kali. Because again, it's an operating system. Some resource, some source has been required, some space has been required by him as well to run. Let's take an example of a mobile phone. If you are using any mobile phone, okay, for example, Android mobile phone. So what are pre-installed applications which have been coming? We cannot uninstall those applications, isn't it? Like Google Chrome, Play Store, all the install for Play Store or some of the Google app. We cannot do that because we are not having the root access. Now, when we talk about ethical hacking, okay, so ethical hacking is what has been done by the pen tester, white hat hackers, isn't it? What are the intentions behind to do pen testing? Finding vulnerability, identifying the potential risk inside system, inside network, inside application. Okay. Now this is helping the organization. Before any malicious hack or malicious attempt has been done, we can enable it, isn't it? We can mitigate the risk. So ethical hackers are helping us in order to find out all those events. Okay. The main objective of ethical hacker will be first to identify the vulnerability to improve the security. Once the report has been generated, report has been forwarded to the team and they are going to do a patch management. Okay. What will be the motive of an hacker? If I'm at that point, if I'm inside a system, first away, I would have collected all the information. Let me try to see what is there inside this device. Once I have all the information, I would have tried to download all the information. Let's keep all this information. If it isn't useful for me, I'm going to sell it. If it is not, let's ask for the ransom. But we are not in bad guys. We are a good one. So what we do? We do a pen test for the organization. We identify the vulnerability. Okay. Once the vulnerability is identified, post to that report has been generated and ask the team they are what they are going to do. They are going to fix that vulnerability. Okay. We are not going to fix the vulnerability. We have a different set of a team who are going to do that. After getting the information, what we can do? We can perform a scan. Okay. Now scanning is what we are going to find out in scanning. First, open port. How many ports are open? Okay. Along with that, which operating system has been running on that machine? What services have been running? We will be collecting that information. Okay. Just remember, there are only 3 steps that we need to care of. Step number 1, identify the host is live or not. How we can do that? To check whether the host is live, to check whether the system is up and running. Along with that, we have any other tools or utilities? Nmap, traceroute, hping 3. Okay. Now, at the beginning, what I said in Linux, what we are getting tools and utilities. So my Nmap is what? It's an utility which is coming with an operating system. Ping, sorry. Nmap is a tool. Traceroute is a tool. AppScan, hping3 tool. These are the tools. Okay. First, what we are going to check whether that system, whether that particular target is alive or not, up and running or not, is into the network or not. If it is into a network, then only we can perform an attack, isn't it? If it is not into a network, how we can do that? Okay. Now, with ping command, which packets have been sent? Anyone? Checking. If I'm getting a reply back, Matt, that means host is up and running. It's live. Okay. So as of now, what I've done, I am running one more machine by the name of an bat store. Okay. Now this is my target, but I don't have any information about this target. I don't have the IP address as well of this target. Okay. Now can I check what is the IP address of this machine? Can I identify? ifconfig. Okay. So the Linux IP address, Kali IP address is 192.168.10.139. I am sitting in this subnet range 255.255.255.0. That is your class C. Okay. Now I want to say in this range, what all other IP address have been assigned and to whom it's been assigned. So we have a command by the name of an AppScan. Okay. Now AppScan or the app request is what? Address resolution protocol. What this protocol has been doing, he will be broadcasting a message. Okay, a message will be sent to each and every device who have been connected in that network. Okay, device as in nowadays we have a switch. We are using switch, isn't it? Previous to that, we were using hubs. If there are 4 devices are connected to that hub, now what hub is doing? Hub is broadcasting a message to each and every device. If A want to communicate with D, so what he will be doing, hub will be doing, hub will be sending that same message to B as well, to C as well, and to D as well. Okay, if that message belongs to D, so B is going to reject it, forward that message again, C is going to reject it, forward that message again. That's the reason we call hub as a dumb device. And we upgraded to switches. Okay, now switch, what they will be doing? 4 devices have been connected into the switch. We also call it as an intelligent device. A want to communicate with D. A will be sending the message to switch. Now switch, what he will be doing? He will be running an app. Okay. What all machines have been connected with me? Send me your MAC address. And that MAC address will be stored inside your CAM table. Okay, so this IP belongs to this MAC address. Forward the message to that IP address. Forward that message to that particular MAC address. That is what your ARP scan has been doing. Whatever machines have been connected in this network, give me your MAC address. Okay, so we will be simply running this ARP scan in that subnet range. So it will be 192.168.10.0/24. Okay, so there are 8 octets in total. There are 32 octets. Okay, 8 are on, so that is your 24. So I want to see how many devices have been connected in this range. Okay, so whenever we are running an ARP scan, okay, so first let's understand what is this thing. Okay, so what I said, we are running an ARP scan, asking the range has been given, how many devices have been connected. Okay, so in which network we are connected. The subnet mask range is 255.255.255.0.
Okay.
8 octet, 8 octet, 8 octet, 8. Okay, last range is 0. We need to identify how many devices have been connected over here in total. So we don't know that. So 8 plus 8 plus 8. That is 24. Okay, 0 in total from 1 to it will be running the scan in between 1 to 25 to identify how many devices are there. Okay, so will get a request. Let me write it for you. Okay, 192.168.10.0. From this range it will start. Okay, now for publicly use or to use the IP address for the public range, so class A, B, and C has been given. Okay, so we can only use these 3 classes. Class D is for multicasting, and class E is for experimental purpose. Experimental purpose as in, so your military, NASA, okay, so your aero system, they all this government organization will be using this range. It's not available for public. Okay, now these are the standard. Similarly, we have standard subnet mask as well. For class A, the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. For class B, it's 255.255.0.0. For class C, it's okay. So these are the standard which have been used. Okay. Now let's say my manager is giving me an IP address and asking me, go ahead and add 50 more devices in this range. Okay. That IP which is given to me is, let's say, 192.168.10.0. This is the IP has been given to me. Okay. Now this IP belongs to which class? What will be the subnet mask? Class C, 255.255.255.0. Okay. Now let's distribute this in further. Okay. So 1 octet, 2 octet, 3 octet, 4 octet. 4 octet means 1 octet means 8 bit. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 bit, 8 bit, 8 bit, and 8 bit. Now I want to see how many more devices I can add in this range. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay. Always remember in particular this binary, how we calculate the formula. 0 means off and 1 means on. So first is my 255 on, second is again a 255 on. Okay. So all the bits we have added, the number are the least octet and no bits are means 0. Okay. Now 1 means your network bit and 0 means your host bit. This is your network based. This is your host bit. I want to calculate how many hosts I can add in this range. So we have a formula for it, 2 raised to power n minus 2. Okay, where n is what? Number of 0. How many number of 0 we have? 2 raised to power 8. 254 devices I can add. Now let's come back over here again. 192.168.10 dot. When I search for this range in my machine, so my machine has been giving with an ARP scan, the IP address has been given dot 1, dot 2, 130 and 254. Okay. But what I am saying, dot 0 is what? It's your network ID. And 255 is what? Is your broadcast ID. Okay. Dot 0 is your network ID. Dot 255 is your broadcast ID. Now I'm saying dot 1 is your network ID and dot 254 is your broadcast ID. How that can be impossible? If already dot 0 is a network ID, dot 255 is a broadcast ID, how I am saying that dot 1 is also a network ID and dot 254 is also a broadcast ID? That cannot be possible. Now to clear your confusion, this is my Windows machine. Inside this Windows machine, what I have a VMware, isn't it? That network has been provided to your VM as well. So for VM, .1 will be your network ID, which has been given by Windows machine. Inside my VM, there is a switch, there is a router who is providing an IP address to each and every device, who is providing an internet as well to each and every device. Okay, so there is a switch inside this VMware who is distributing the IP address. So .1 is what? Is my network ID, in which network I am sitting in. Okay, .254 is what? It's your broadcast IP. Whatever message has been broadcasted to each and every device, this IP range has been used. ARP scan. Okay, now I get the information, my target IP. Now I want to check whether my target IP is up and running. So simply an ping command. So 192.168.10.130. Okay. Now, by looking at this ping command, can I identify what operating system has been running in that machine? If my ping request is getting blocked, I can use a tool, hping3. So many a time organization, what they do, ICMP packets will get blocked. You cannot perform a ping request. If you want to see, identify whether the host is live or not, and you are running a ping request, you are running a ping scan, it will get blocked by the firewall. Okay. Now to bypass the firewall, we can use such kind of an tools. So with hping3, we can craft our own packet. We can use TCP packet, send an acknowledgement packet. To whom? To my target machine. Okay. Similarly, when we run an Nmap will also perform this request. By default, in Nmap, we have a service which is first it will be running a ping request to identify. -A is I'm sending an acknowledgement packet. So there are TCP packets, acknowledgement, synchronization. Then we have reset flag. Okay, so these are what? These are my TCP packets, TCP flags. Okay, so I can craft my own packet in that scenario. Okay, the tool name is Nmap. Now Nmap stand for network mapper. Okay, so it use raw IP packet in different ways to find out what hosts are available, what are network service has been running. Okay, what operating system has been used. Okay, what are the different types of firewall has been used. All different characteristics have been can be displayed with the help of an Nmap. Okay, now Nmap work in 5 different steps. So the step number 1 is Nmap will run a ping sweep. Okay, it will send a ping request to each and every IP address, to each and every that subnet range. Step number 2 is your DNS lookup. By default, it will do an DNS lookup. DNS lookup means if you are writing an IP address, it will check is there any domain associated with this IP or not. Okay, if I'm giving an IP address of an InfosecTrain, it will check on the background what is the domain. Domain is an InfosecTrain. That's a website, so it will give me that information. Not only that, it will do a reverse DNS as well. Reverse DNS lookup. It will check if we are providing a name. If you write a name, it will give an IP address. Like this. If I do ping google.com, public IP will be given to me. So this is the public IP of an Google. Similarly, Nmap will also do the same thing. Okay, DNS lookup and reverse DNS as well. Step number 4. At step number 1, it will run a ping sweep to check whether the host is live or not. Step number 2, it will check for the DNS, any domain associated with that IP address or not. If we are giving a name, then it will check for the IP address. Okay. At step number 4, it will check how many ports are there and which port is an open port. Okay, because each and every port, there are certain services are running, isn't it? Port number 80, what service has been running on port number 80? Port number 23, telnet. Port number 443, https. Port number 21, ftp. Port number 22, ssh. So these are what? These are the services running on that port. Okay, so Nmap will identify that which services has been running on which port, and whether that port is on or not, whether that port is open or not. At the end, it will run an NSE. Nmap script engine. Okay, so at the end, Nmap will run a script. There are pre-built scripts inside your Nmap. For every service, we have a script like your HTTP, SMTP, SMB. These are what? These are your service. So we have default scripts, well-known scripts. So we can identify the vulnerability with the help of that script. If you want to see that, what we can do, locate nmap/script. Here you go. These are the scripts available for every service: SMB, SMB2, RDP, PGL, Oracle, NFS, NetBus, Net, MS SQL, MySQL. For every service, there are scripts available. So we can simply copy the script and run in that particular service or in that port to get more information about your target machine. Okay. So these are what? These are your 5 steps of an Nmap. Now, what all commands we can use with Nmap? What are options available with an Nmap? Okay. Now, the best thing with any tool inside an Linux, inside an Kali, what we can do, we can simply write the tool name Nmap followed by -h. That means help. Give us the information, what all options, what we can do with this tool. Here we go. These are the options available with Nmap. For host discovery, we can go with -sl. -sn is for the ping scan. For -pn is treat all the hosts as online. Skip host discovery. Okay, -n, never do DNS resolution, scanning techniques. So these are the scanning techniques we can use. These are the options we can use with an Nmap. -ss, -st, -sa, -sw, -si, -b. Okay, port specification. If you want to specify the port, -p, -r, to check for the service version, -sv, to run a script scan, -sc, to check the operating system, -o. Okay, for IDS evasion, -f, for output, -on. Okay, so these are what? These are the options available with an Nmap. Okay, so most commonly used option I will be writing over here. Now let's say if I want detailed output, a detailed information about my target machine. So I will be using -v, which is known as your verbosity scan. Okay. Now Nmap is running your ping sweep, Nmap is running DNS lookup, Nmap is running reverse TNS. Now I don't want all this thing to be run. It will be wasting my time. I know the host is live. I know the particular IP is up and running. It has been connected to a network. So let's skip the step number 1. That is your ping sweep. Block this ping sweep. Hyphen capital PN. I know with this IP address, there are no domain associated. It's a device IP. It's a system IP. It's not an IP address of any website. So why to do an DNS lookup? Let's block it. Hyphen N. Okay. Now, if I run a Nmap, by default, Nmap is going to run his request, run his service, or run his scan in limited port. We call it as a well-known port. Okay. So in total, when we run this Nmap command, it is going to run in only into top 1000 port. And in total, we have 65535 ports. Okay. Now I want Nmap to scan on all these ports. So we can specify that hyphen P. Scan all 65535 port. If I want to specify a single port, run the Nmap on port number 80. So to specify the port number 80, I will be writing nmap hyphen p hyphen followed by port number 80. For example, nmap hyphen v is for port number 80, state is open, service which has been running on that port is your HTTP. 443 open, service is HTTPS. 3306 open, service is MySQL.
Yes.
Now I have the service. Service has been running HTTP as MySQL. Now I want additional more details. What version of the service has been running? So what we can do, nmap hyphen sv. Give me the service version as well. Okay. Now, if I want to block everything as in Nmap is running in 5 states: ping sweep, DNS, reverse DNS, open, finding the open port, and NSE as well. Okay. I want to block all these 4 steps. We only want to run a ping sweep. Apart from that, we don't want DNS lookup, we don't want reverse DNS, we don't want to check how many ports are open, and also we don't want to run an NSE as well, the default script. So in that case, what we can go with -sn. Blocks everything and does a ping sweep. Ping sweep means identify whether the host is live or not. Remember, I have mentioned the Nmap as well. Nmap is going to identify whether that host is live or not with the help of the ping sweep. So we can identify, we can check if my ping is getting blocked. We can run an Nmap to check whether the host is live or not. Okay. So -o is for operating system. -sv is for okay. And one more thing, these are all are case sensitive. So it's in capital V. Small s, capital V. Then we have ACK, that is your acknowledgement. Fin is for finish. RST is for reset. For push. Okay. So these are what? These are our TCP flags. Always remember the statement: whenever TCP communication starts, it starts with an SYN flag. Okay. And one more thing, with Nmap, what we can do, we can use this TCP flags as well. Okay, so we can run this some of the Nmap script with all this TCP flag. So very commonly used are your Nmap -st, which is known as your TCP full connect. Then we have Nmap -ss, which is known as your stealth scan, or also known as your half connect. Okay, then we have Nmap -sf. So this time we are using FinScan. Okay, we have Nmap -sx, which is known as your Xmas scan. Okay, so in this we are using 3 packets, that is your fin, push, and urge. fin packet has been sent, along with fin push has been sent, and arch packet has been sent. Then this fin scan finish packet has been sent. So Metasploitable machine has been up and running. I don't have the IP address of this machine. How we can identify that? So Nmap, I want to run a verbosity scan. Along with that, let's say I want to block the DNS resolution as well. Okay. Now, what I'm doing over here, I'm running Ford scan. -v is your verbosity, -n is your blocking the DNS resolution, -pn is for blocking ping sweep, -sv to run or to check what is the service version. Along with that, let's say I want to run the default script as well, -sc, the well-known script. Okay, and run this command in all the port -p I don't want to go with default on the 1000 port. Run in all 65535 port. So what I'm doing, I'm creating my own script, isn't it? Combining all the stack, creating my own script where we want to run the target IP. Okay, now it will take a bit time to give us a detailed output. Okay. So first thing, before you go for any scan, learn about the network, basic of an IP address, what are the range we do have, okay, what are the subnet mask to have, and how we calculated that subnet mask. Okay, if this concept is clear, then it will be very much easy to understand what we are doing and when we are running this app scan. Okay, so this is the range, this is the IP address which has been given by whom. This IP has been given by whom to me. This IP belongs to my Kali. Okay, now inside this VM there is a switch, a router. Now that switch is providing the IP address to each and every machine, and to that switch, who is providing an IP address, who is providing an internet? My Windows machine. And to my Windows machine, who is providing me an internet, who is providing me an IP address? The router with the physical device which has been set on my house. To that router, who is providing an IP address? The ISP provider. Now ISP provider has given me a range, a set of an IP address. Okay, a one single IP address. Now router, what he is doing? He is distributing that IP. 192.168.10.139 has been given. Now further to that, if I assign a new IP to each and every device, the IP will get exhausted, isn't it? There are limited IP address available, and there are n number of devices. As of now, in today's era, each and every person is having at least three devices: one mobile phone, one laptop, Along with that, smartwatch that is also been connected to a network. So by default, it will be also having an IP address. Okay. When we talk about IPv4, there are limited IP address. IP will can easily get exhausted. So we started using IPv6. Okay. So in that scenario, we started using this subnetting as well. Break this IP address and distribute it furthermore. In this 139, starting from 1 to 254, assign more IP address. Then again 140. In between to that, we can add 255 more devices. 144 or 141. In that, we can add 254 more devices from 0 to 254 because the range will be ending at 255. My Linux is getting my VMware is getting one range. The range has been sitting in between this, okay, 192.168.10.0 in between this, okay. So in that range, one IP has been given to Kali. Now we don't know what are the other IP address. Okay, the subnet, with the help of that subnet mask, we use that IP address 192.168.10.0 to 254.0 to subnet mask C, class C subnet mask. Run the app scan. Now app scan, what he's going to do? He's going to broadcast a message to each and every devices which are up and running in that network. Okay. If you are connected, if Metasploit has been connected, give me your MAC address. If any other device has been connected, send me your MAC address. And they are going to respond it back. So these are the MAC address. And with that, we are getting the IP address as well. And this information has been stored inside the CAM table.